Hello friends, it's Nancy from Astrology and Angel Mediums today with something a little bit different. It is Sunday and I usually utilize this day to kind of get ready for the upcoming week. And one of the things that I usually do, not just like meal prep and make sure all of my laundry is done, as well as any kind of grocery shopping or errands, I also like to do some spiritual practices as well. Now, if you've followed me on Instagram or on my Facebook page at Astrology Angel Mediums, you may know that on Sundays I usually post a pick a card reading where you choose your card and then I post it what the three cards mean. And I think last week for my YouTube channel, I decided to upload a pick a pile reading on here. But it kind of made for a very busy day, so I didn't want to like record a video, edit it, do all of that, and then also have to type up all the card meanings all at once on top of all of the other things that I was trying to get ready. And I also worked last Sunday, so it was a little bit of a chaotic day. I got everything done, but I was like, let me not put that much pressure on myself this week. So one of the things that I also do for my own spiritual practice is I usually try to pull some cards and gauge like what I need to know, what I should be focusing on, things that may be coming up. And so today I'm going to do kind of a collective week ahead tarot spread or a weekly check-in. So if you want to join me and see what that's about, come on in and relax a little bit and we'll see where this reading takes us, and we can kind of see collectively what we all need to maybe focus on, or things that may be coming up this week that are going to be pertinent and significant as we kind of continue moving into, my goodness, I can't believe it's like halfway through June, but then also having the understanding that we're moving into a new season too. So let's get started. All right, so I found this weekly check-in spread online on someone's blog. I believe the person's name was Cassandra Snow. If I find the link, I will link it in the description box. But we're going to use kind of what the questions that she used or her card spread that she put together. So the very first one for collective, all right, so for the week of 6/16 through, I don't even know when this week ends, 6/22, I believe. So what do we need to know collectively? All right, we have the Six of Swords reversed. All right, now to do, what do we need to do? The Six of Pentacles. All right, now, what do we need to release? The Ace of Pentacles reversed. And what do we need to contemplate? The King of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to put these guys over here. Now, since I did want to focus this more on a collective, I'm going to see if I can find, there it is. If I can find one of my little things here. So this is meant to be reversed. Yes, this one's upright. Now, all right, so not reverse. See, I just like to use a pendulum, and I can do a video on using pendulums and why I like adding them into my practice. I think it's just nice to kind of have that second physical kind of confirmation. So if you guys are interested in how I use pendulums, what kind of pendulums I'm using, and why I use them in my practice, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to put together a little video to kind of show you why I feel like it's a fun thing to add into your tarot or any kind of intuitive or spiritual practice. So the very first question or, oh my gosh, card spread. I just woke up. I'm a little tired. All right. So the very first card that I pulled is the Six of Swords reverse. And this is in our to know. What do we need to know? So we have the Six of Swords reversed. Now, whenever I think of the Six of Swords, I think it's very much a card of like transitions, like very much like releasing and kind of moving forward. It can really be an invitation to allow healing to truly begin. Now, this being reversed, I would definitely say that maybe this is a week where we have to be a little bit more mindful of what we are trying to kind of shift out of. In the sense of maybe we're just not quite ready. Like maybe some things have just not really come to fruition the way that we had anticipated, or some of the transitions that have been happening have not really been due to any of the things that we're currently doing. Now, when I think of the number six, I think it's very much the number of like responsibilities and rewards. And I think it's very much aligned with this energy of understanding that we have to be proactive in how we're showing up, what we're doing, what we're choosing for ourselves. And I think with the Six of Swords here being reversed, especially with the to know, is that maybe there's something right now that maybe is not really going to be shifting the way that we thought it was going to. And it's not because of anything that maybe we feel like we're not doing enough of or that we haven't put enough effort into. It's just not going to feel like things are shifting the way that you thought they were going to. So maybe some of the transitions that you would like to see, or maybe some of the things that you thought you were going to have a chance to do, it's just not really coming together. Now, the other thing that I like to associate with the Six of Swords is some sort of travel. I always kind of feel like it's, if we look at it upright, it's like, this sense of like crossing water almost. So to me, I almost have like a personal meaning to it because I am the daughter of Mexican immigrants, and I am first generation Mexican American. So I almost look at this card as like kind of that risk that someone is taking to like get away from everything that they've known to go somewhere else to start a new life. Now, with this being reversed, I almost feel like maybe right now you feel like you've been wanting to co-create something new. Maybe you feel like you've been doing the work to start some of these things, but they just haven't really come together the way that you had anticipated. Or there is a little bit of like a hesitation because it just feels like, again, you're not really allowed the opportunity to heal the way that you want. And so maybe right now you're too focused on work things, too focused on your livelihood or your physical existence, or what is going to come next. So it's hard for you to really truly allow some of that healing to begin. And so right now, maybe that you can't truly rest or reconnect with yourself the way that you would want to, because you're needing something to be supportive of this opportunity. So right now, maybe the to know is that while you may feel like you're ready for this transition or you're ready to kind of get away, there's just something that hasn't really been taking off the way that you needed. And so there is a little bit of this sense of things are just not really moving as quickly or as efficiently as you thought they were going to. Now, I think with the Six of Swords, especially reverse, is that we get this kind of sense of feeling a little bit stuck. And I'm going to have a sip of coffee because it is very early in the morning here, and I want to get this up today. So I think if we move into what we need to do, which is the second card here, we have the Six of Pentacles. Now, when I think of the Six of Pentacles, I think it's very much a card of like giving and receiving and finding a balance, but not so much in the way of the Two of Pentacles. I think that this is very much like saying like you have a lot of things that are vying for your attention. There's a lot of things that are required of you at this time, especially in your day-to-day life. So with this being the to-do card, I think it's very appropriate because maybe right now you feel like I gotta do this and I gotta do that and I need to do this and I need to do that. And all of our commitments, all of our expectations, all of our energy that is being input into different aspects or layers of our life. I think with the Six of Pentacles, it's almost saying like, make sure that things are balanced. Make sure that you're not overextending yourself or putting yourself in a position where you don't feel in alignment with who you are and what you need and what you want. Now, the other thing with the Six of Pentacles is that we really want to focus on not the lessons essentially of the Five of Pentacles, which is to feel alone, to feel disconnected, to feel a little bit like things are not really coming together the way that you had anticipated. And so maybe because of a previous loss or a lack of momentum and movement in certain areas, you have been very focused on, I have to do everything by myself. And this being the to-do card, I do think that it does kind of bring a little bit of that sense of you overly relying on yourself. And I understand, because it's hard to feel receptive and open to allowing other people to kind of step in and to help. And especially if you feel like, well, anytime I've asked for help, people can't really step up the way that I thought they were going to, or nobody is really there for me the way that I've been there for them. So I feel like with the Six of Pentacles here in this to-do card is that maybe it's saying, hey, you got to find a balance. You got to give and receive. So as much as you've been giving, make sure that you are also that receptive and that open to that being reciprocated and to receive exactly what you've been putting out. I think the sixes in tarot have this kind of energy of really putting the choice in our hands in a lot of ways, and really saying, hey, you get to kind of pick and see, but it is a number of balance too. If we even just kind of reflect on the lessons of the Lovers, where it's like we have to kind of align ourselves with things that we love. We have to find that balance between both selves, in a way that is very receptive and open to what is trying to kind of happen for us. So when I think of the sixes, especially with each of the suits, I think it's very much like mentally, what have you been trying to change that maybe is a little bit blocked? Physically, what have you been trying to kind of bring into balance? But maybe it's hard for you to understand that we're not here to do life by ourselves. We have to have other people in it. Now, if we move on to the release card, here we have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, I think with releasing, I think a lot of us feel like that means like, oh, I just got to let it go and I just have to like surrender, and it has to be like this whole big old ordeal, or it has to be something challenging. And I don't think that that's really what this to release card really talks about, because, excuse me, my allergies are really bad right now. I think with the to release card is that maybe it's almost saying like our closed fist is held so tight that it makes it hard for us to be receptive to receive. Now, to release is Ace of Pentacles. Now, this is usually a card of good things opening up. This is like the potential that we've been wanting, especially in the physical realm, or with like new opportunities, new career, like a new space, new like things that we're doing within ourselves. Now, to release, I feel like this is almost saying that maybe you've been so focused on the what if, or if I only had this, or if this was changed. And I think maybe that's why we're getting the Ace of Pentacles here, is that maybe it is an invitation to say, okay, if things didn't change, how can you open yourself up to a different opportunity? What opportunities are you giving yourself? And so maybe you need to kind of release this sense of that everything is kind of outside of you, or that it's not really coming together the way that you thought it was going to because of something external outside of you. I think a lot of us, especially when we are in a situation where we feel a little bit stuck, or we feel a little bit overwhelmed by everything that we're trying to do, we have this like wishful thinking. And I think with the release card here, especially with the Ace of Pentacles being it, is that maybe you're kind of putting a lot of your hopes on, oh, once I get this, everything will be fine. Or once I get the money, I will be okay. Or, if I had a different job, everything will really work itself out. Or if my body looked differently, because if we're thinking about what the Pentacles rule, which is the physical self. It can rule our space, it can rule our career, it can rule our finances, it can rule, again, kind of like our material world. If we're like, oh, if things were a little bit different, or if I just had this opportunity, or if I had a little bit more money, or if I had a different job. I think this being the to release card is that maybe that wishful thinking, that hopeful kind of sense of, if this was this, or if this was a little bit different, or if I could do this. I think it's kind of saying that maybe you've been too focused on the what if, or if only kind of essence, versus trying to change what is going on with you now in order for you to make space for these things to change. A lot of us, we want changes and then we don't do anything to actually initiate the change, to welcome the change, to make space for a change. And then we're surprised when we're, a year down the line, or a month, or whatever, and things are still going the same way. And I think with the Ace of Pentacles being here in this to release is that maybe you have been so focused on the potential of something shifting your life for you, instead of really looking at what you need to do, which is you need to kind of find that balance. You need to kind of pick and choose. You need to give and receive, and not wait until something physically changes in order for you to have those physical changes. It's more about you initiating that, instead of just thinking about it and wanting it and then being a little bit afraid to really show up in that energy. Now, if we move on to the fourth card, this is what we need to contemplate. So here we have the King of Wands. Now, this king to me is very much this energy of, as you can see, he's very excited, very passionate. I think it's very much about connecting to what drives us, what we want, what we're focused on, what we feel is necessary. I think with the kings is that they kind of encompass all of the lessons of each of the suits, but they have the maturity that maybe allows them to really see what that suit is trying to bring into their lives. What is the ultimate lesson? If you were ready to kind of say, I have mastered this completely, what is it that I need in order for me to move into the next thing? So with the King of Wands, I feel like it's very much about understanding that maybe what we need to contemplate this week is, what is driving us? What are we passionate about? What makes us feel warm and joy and makes us feel happy about what it is that we're doing? Where do we feel like our creative juices are the most beneficial? And how can we feel like we can show up as a leader in our lives? So I think with what we need to contemplate here, especially given that, we have to kind of release, okay, the whole like security kind of mindset of like, oh, I have to be where I'm at because it provides some stability. So I'm afraid that if I move into something new, I may not have the stability that I once had. I think with the King of Wands is that because he's so driven by what his soul wants, he is giving us this opportunity to understand that we also should show up in that way, that we should also kind of say, hey, the more that like I do things that speak to me, that allow me to kind of get out there and have fun and enjoy life to the fullest, the more that life really continuously gives me and allows me to receive more opportunities that are aligned with that. So then I don't have to feel like things are so challenging and difficult and out of balance in some ways. So I think with the contemplate card, it's more of just saying, okay, have you checked in with yourself to see how you feel about what it is that you're currently doing? Have you given yourself an opportunity to connect to what drives you? Like what makes you feel lit up? What makes you feel connected? What makes you feel excited about this next opportunity or this next kind of phase? So I think for this week, if we just kind of look at everything, because again, this is kind of a weekly check-in, and hopefully what I like to do is I like to kind of journal on these cards and kind of focus. What I like to do with these cards, especially kind of knowing what I pulled and kind of what positions I pulled them for, I like to also kind of journal as to how this reflects on me personally. And I think that it's a good kind of way, besides, your current or daily spiritual practices, I think it's nice to have kind of like a weekly check-in. So I really hope that this kind of allows you a little bit of clarity as to what it is that maybe is kind of coming up for you this week, and things that maybe you need to focus on in order for you to feel like things are finally shifting in different areas of your life. So I just want to say thank you for joining me. I really hope that you enjoyed this weekly check-in. I don't know if I'll do them every week. I will, if you guys like them, I will maybe talk about doing these every once in a while as time permits. And as I get an opportunity and the energy to do so, I just want to say thank you so much for following me and subscribing, and your comments and your support. As always, I just want to say that I deeply appreciate you guys allowing me to do this. Please take care, stay safe, and as always, make good choices. Bye.